It's an honor to be here. I'm excited. I was really excited this morning to share with our faculty, and I am amazed at the response of our professors, of your faculty, your administration, in response to this topic. Oakwood, as far as my radar goes, is it's the first university having these conversations, really thinking about what is happening in this sector. And I'm talking about Adventist universities. There's other universities where I've presented to, and something that I usually get invited to present to students. Ernesto, come talk to our students about AI. And usually my response is, I don't have to talk to them about AI. I'm sure they're already using it. But I'm glad your faculty, your professors, your administration are very interested in talking about this subject. And not, how do we block it? How do we, punish them for using AI? But how can we leverage this technology? How can we walk side by side? So that was very exciting. I'm so proud of this university, of this campus, for taking the step in that direction, because we have a lot of public universities and campuses already having these conversations, already doing the research, already leading the way, and we cannot be left behind. Our universities cannot be left behind. So thank you for the introduction, Archie. My name is Ernesto Hernandez. I'm coming from Seattle, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've always been a techie. One of the very interesting things is, growing up in high school, I really enjoyed, I was a math. I enjoyed algebra. I enjoyed chemistry, physics, all the sciences, the maths. So when I graduated, I had to pick a major, and I was like, I'm going to go into computer engineer. It's a given. The math is there. The physics is there, maybe some chemistry. I go into computer engineer at California State University, and my first year did not go so well. And I realized, what is happening? I love math. Why am I not doing so well in this program? Eventually, through the years, I realized that something I really enjoyed was not really the learning of the formulas, but solving problems. I enjoyed sitting through math, and they would give me a problem, and then it was a challenge to find a solution to this problem. I remember getting in trouble once. I don't know why I got in trouble, because I came up with the new formula in algebra that I had proven, and I showed it to my teacher. This is in 9th grade. I'm like, hey, I turned in my assignment, and the teacher's like, okay, the answer is correct, but you didn't follow the formula I taught you guys. Like, so the answer's right. I tested the formula 3 times before I turned in my assignment. Eventually, I found out that I really enjoyed the critical thinking aspect. I really enjoyed problem solving. Now, part of my job is problem solving in a creative space in the media department. But then I started to notice this gap in the technology sector that our church was not following. It was the summer of 2022, post-pandemic, and I started working in media production. I started to notice more of these AI models becoming public. Have any of you done like image generation recently? Anybody? Image generation, Midjourney, ChatGPT, Stable Diffusion. So now, if I go into any of these AIs, it generates an image in about 5-10 seconds. If it takes 30 seconds, that's too long. Summer of 2022, and this is how fast the technology is advancing. Summer of 2022, it would take 3 hours to generate one image. And this was the early models. We're not talking, there was no ChatGPT, it had not been public. We're still talking about people that were in the background working on the code. What does it mean to generate images? So that's when I started looking. I was like, okay. But the first thing was, how can I find other technology to help me be more efficient in my workplace? I'm always trying to find, for lack of a better term, finding shortcuts. Not shortcuts in my work, but how can I be more efficient? How can I get things done a little faster? So I was like, well, there's AI. What kind of technology is out there? So I started I started poking around. And then I remember having a conversation with some of our directors at the general conference. And I said, what are we doing in regards to artificial intelligence? I see this technology, in the horizon. It's not here. It's not what it is as of right now. And I'm talking about, this is summer of 22. And they said, what are you talking about? And I was like, AI. We're starting to see algorithms and models that can train themselves, that can teach themselves. Anyway, so I want to show you a video that always captures anybody here use the internet? I'm going to show you a little bit of this other presentation. I find it very comical when the lady says, you know what, I'm going to opt out of the internet. Have any of you thought about that recently? You know what, I'm just going to opt out of the internet. I think we carry the internet in our pockets now. And that's kind of where AI is headed. We are living in 1995 of the internet era of AI. So what we saw in that video, how people were reacting to the internet in 1995, is how we are reacting to AI in 2024. I can't imagine where we're going to be 25 years from today. In this technology, something I like to always say is, people are like, oh yeah, but it only does, it does hands with 10 fingers, or it does hands with 3 fingers. It's a technology that it's in its worst state so far. It's only going to improve. And in today's presentation, we're going to look at the positives, the negatives, and how it could affect you and your future, you and your education, and why it should be on your scope. Because I've had conversations with a lot of people who are like, yeah, AI is only for the computer science people. I'm in medicine, so I'm just going to opt out of AI. That's what was happening in 1995 with the internet. The internet was, oh no, I'm a professor. I don't need the internet. The internet is for the science people. It's for the computer people. If we don't start having these conversations, if we don't have these panels, if we don't build the awareness, then we're gonna be really late to the AI party. And we don't want you as students and future professionals to not be prepared for a world that has a lot of AI integration. And I know we'll eventually get to a Q&A section, but right now I want to show you, we're going to go through quick samples. Really quick. Any of you who here is using some sort of AI outside? ChatGPT, I know, is very popular. Something to keep in mind is, just like another question that the lady asked, can you explain the internet? If we ask the question, can you explain AI? AI is not one AI. A lot of people think ChatGPT is the AI. AI is a network of knowledge, and technically is a network of servers that do combined tasks. Something that is very fascinating is that AI, the current AIs we have, ChatGPT or LLMs, large language models, which are models that have learned the human language. And something that is very fascinating that blew my mind 2 years ago was, wait, technology? We talk to technology via inputs. I talk to my computer to turn it on. I talk to it when I type. I talk to it when I tell it to open Adobe Photoshop. But now technology, in a way, is talking back to us. It has learned our language. It has learned English, Spanish, because it has done all this research through these algorithms. And that just blew my mind when I learned and when I had that realization that AI is technology that has learned to communicate with us. And by us learning to communicate with it, it can accomplish certain tasks. So that is crazy. I didn't get a chance to combine the slides into my other presentation, so I'll share some of the slides and some of the things, because I want to inspire you to see some of the things that you can accomplish and how we're actually using AI in the field. I know many of you are students and you're soon to either graduate or you're thinking of the field you're going to go into. I want to show you some of the actual practical ways that we are using AI as a media director in a media department, and then we'll go into more of the ethical conversation about AI. So, been doing some generation where we can generate images, embed. I'm sure many of you have seen these types of generations where you can see subliminal images and generation. AI can accomplish that type of stuff. You can see here, it's either a camping site or the Adventist logo, the Pathfinder logo, or somebody off-roading. Something to keep in mind is I know there's a lot of creatives in here. You are just naturally drawn to the media sector because of your creativity, but creativity is knowing how to use all your knowledge, your talents, and your tools to connect the problem with the solution. If you can create solutions to problems, you will always have a job. I guarantee you that. And that was something I took away from a mentor that is now the director of the robotics program for Amazon. And I asked him, how did you end up being the director of the robotics program? And he said, I was just always good at solving problems. One day they had a problem and I helped them solve it. And now I make a ton of money. And that is something to keep in mind as students. If you can create a solution to a problem, you will always have a job. But creativity is how to connect the dots, and not how to connect A to B, but connecting, you have a multitude of dots. You have dots A through C. If you're like, okay, I have this problem, I'm going to connect B to J to T to W, and now I have a solution. And it's not just a solution, because anybody can make a solution. It's a unique solution. That's what a lot of these higher end companies are looking for, unique solutions, because anybody can come up with an A plus B equals C, but not anybody can connect multiple dots. And that's kind of where my strength came in. I started, okay, how can I use my knowledge with this emerging technology, with these other tools, and create new solutions, create a revolution in what is happening in the media industry. So one of our goals is always to use innovative tools in media and technology to take the gospel further. Again, these are inserts from a presentation for evangelism. I'll show you some samples of how I've used some of these AI tools. I was talking to some of the faculty this morning. One of them that I use a lot is Gigapixel AI, which helps up the pixel. It fills in the gaps of pixels and images. So let's say you took a picture with your phone, but you want to make it a print size, and it's not good quality. You can use something like Gigapixel AI to make the image 5 to 6 times larger, and it fills in the pixels. And now you have something for large model printing. So yeah, this is the type of AI that is working on filling pixels. So yeah, that's something that we use a lot because we get a lot of volunteers that send us potato phone pictures. So then we have to up the resolution so we can print them. ChatGPT, we'll eventually talk about ChatGPT. Image generation, these are some older images, but I just want to show you how fast this technology advanced. This is a prompt. These are the same prompts run through Midjourney AI. And they are 1 year apart. Just in 1 year, how far the image generation came. It's like a space cowboy in an animated style. Then we have this guy parting the Red Sea. And I remember generating this image and running up to my conference president's office. And I was like, dude, check this out. What is it? And he said, I don't know. It just looks like a bunch of blobs. I'm like, can you see? It's someone parting the Red Sea. And he didn't see it. But I was excited because I had generated this image. It took about 30 minutes. Whereas this one took about 10 seconds for the servers to generate that image. Of course, it takes, and when it comes to image generation, I'll talk a little bit more about that because that's my passion. I love that. When it comes to image generation, anybody can go in and type in, make me an image of Jesus walking on water. Piece of cake. Anybody can do that. And you will get multiple different, you'll get 1,000, 5,000, 1 million different results because each each time you hit the go button on the prompt, it will generate something different. It will not generate a series. It will not generate the same image. So for example, these are, Jesus walking on water. The real value in this for you creatives, for you artsy people, for the art majors, for the graphic designers, for the cinematographers, for the film people is you have the knowledge of the terminology. You know art history. You know cinematography terms. Use that knowledge to get better AI results. And this is where images like this come out. And it wasn't just generating this image, but you can generate a whole series that interlocks. So now they look like they're all scenes from the same film in a way. Because I was able to follow, my prompt was made with actual cinematography terms. I was talking, I want this feel, I want this mood, I want this color tones, I want you to use these, so you start putting more knowledge into it. So it's no longer just Jesus walking on water. Now I'm giving it more terminology of an image of a Middle Eastern individual dressed in an outfit from first century Nazareth. And then we start building the scene. I start building okay, it's raining. What does the rain look like? What is the tone? What type of feel do I want to give my audience? And those are the types of stuff you study in your film production classes. That's the type of stuff you're taking away from the classroom. So now we're taking that knowledge and we're able to generate original images. Again, anybody can generate one image. The real value in image generation is being able to create a series that interlocks, that looks like they all belong. And another thing we discussed, so again, here's another series. This is AI, my graphic designers. I used AI to generate these for presentations. But again, they're all following the same themes, the same tones, the same styles. So yeah. Here's another series. This one was a nativity scene, as if the characters were made out of felt with different textures. There's another one we made for children's. We made these for children's ministries. They needed some sets for their children's series. So we generated these images and then we were able to print them in large models so we could have sets and original sets. We were not breaking any sort of copyright or stealing. These were images that we had. It's an AI generated image, so we have commercial use for those images. Made some comic styles for same thing for children. This one's very interesting because I was talking to some of the Walla Walla students in the film program, and they said, how can we use it in film? So something that I was playing with, I don't think I mentioned this, my background as it was in cinematography, was character generation. I was like, can I generate a character in different styles, in different, postures, different. So I was able to come up with this little guy. And this is, like I said, when you're doing AI image generation, it is very hard to come up with the repetitive style. Even harder to come up with a same character. So I was able to do that. So I took my character, but then I tried, and then I took it a step further. I placed this little guy and created a setting for it with the little friend. So that's the power of AI and how it can supplement what you're doing. So again, I can take any of these other little illustrations of the character and build a setting around it. So in talking to the students from Walla Walla, I was like, you can use AI to help you with your storyboarding. It's an idea. You can do character placement, and now you can generate more advanced storyboards for your productions. Here's some more abstract images I've generated in different, again, talking, art, and knowledge. And these were just for fun. I think I used that on a presentation. Well, I'm using it here. Again, very abstract style, taking a different approach to these biblical images. Here's another one using very like isometric paper style generation. I think now we're going to go into video. Yeah, any of you have used generative fill in Adobe? Have you used it with video? Like how to combine it? So there's this example of you can film your subject in a vertical mode. And obviously we have the blank. And then you take a screenshot and then you throw it on Photoshop, and then you can use generative fill to create a set. So you can simply place your subject against a blank wall and with the help of AI create a whole set. And now we would have our subject talking in this AI generated set. So again, I'm just throwing ideas out there. So I'm not really going to talk about here's the steps on how to do it, because I'll be honest, there's plenty of tutorials out there, but I want to bring awareness of this, because then we'll jump to another part of the presentation. This one's one of my
journey of faith. We often find ourselves navigating an ocean of needs and desires, searching for answers, for provision, for peace. Amidst the waves and the winds, one truth stands firm. In Christ, we have all we need. He is our anchor, our compass, and our unfailing supply. The Apostle Paul reassures us in the book of Philippians, saying, "And my God, when we..."
On this one, I used 3 AIs to create this video. I used ChatGPT. This video was generated for a camp meeting last year. We had a theme, greater things. We had a Bible verse. We knew what we were going to talk about each night. One night was going to be greater things through faith. Another thing was going to be greater things through our education system. So I took all this information that I knew, I threw it on ChatGPT, and I told it, I'm going to give you content, and you're going to be my assistant writer. I need you to write me some scripts so we can generate some introduction videos to introduce every night and welcome our audience. So these became opener videos for camp meeting. ChatGPT generated the script, took the text, threw it on 11 Labs. 11 Labs is a voice generation AI. Threw it on there, had the voice, and then I used Suno, which is audio music generation AI, to create the background track. So we had original music, original voice, and an original script. The video generation AI is still not there, so I just went and used stock video for that. Here's another interesting one.
Sort of scrolling I should do conference. So I'm so looking forward to camp meeting. But as we take this time over the next 2 days to really be praying.
So this is a video. Our president recorded a selfie video to send out to churches and invite people to camp meeting. But here's what we took. That's not AI. We took it a step further, and we have AI. Anybody here speak Spanish? Okay.
Antes del campamento, oraremos y compartiremos extractos de las Escrituras.
So we use AI to make my conference president speak Spanish.
No adecuadamente. El texto que quiero compartir contigo es...
So we were able to send this video also to our Spanish-speaking churches.
A humillarnos ante el Señor, prometiendo que Él nos exalta.
He does not speak Spanish, by the way.
En Salmo 37, dicen estas palabras brincadoras.
So I only did Spanish because I only speak Spanish and English. So I was able to make sure it was properly translated, it properly spoke right. But now one of my duties is like, okay, if I find church members that speak different languages, or we have Russian churches, we have Korean churches, maybe we can also translate stuff to Russian and they can proof it for us. But again, This again is with permission of my conference president to do this. I am ethically using it because he is aware that I am doing this, and he gave us the green light, and he saw the video, and I was like, hey, we can send it to the Spanish churches now. So that is, again, the ethics of it. He is aware of it. It's not, I'm not going behind his back and let me make a voice model of his voice and use it for other things. Yeah. So this is another great example, using AI to reach other audiences, to reach audience that we had not communicated with before. So yeah, some of the stuff we're doing in actual practice, like in the office, we're creating graphics, image generation. Pastors are on the top 5 professional individuals in the U.S. that break copyright rules. There's been pastors that have gone lawsuits for using images without permission. So with AI, we have a problem. Pastors are breaking copyright, but we have an AI that generates images. Can we generate images for pastors? So I started working on a bank of images that I send out to all of our pastors so they could. I was like, here, use these images. Stop breaking the rules. Stop breaking copyright. So we started doing a little bit of that. So we created some graphics for them. We clean up stories for communications. We do some research, and we've edited some video. When it comes to cleaning up stories, we have, I didn't show it here, but we have another AI called Descript. Anybody, have you used Descript or used it? Something else, and this is a huge one that I usually share with communications directors, is you can record an interview with your phone as an audio, throw it on Descript, and then it gives you the full transcript of this interview, of this audio. And now you have a whole transcript. Then you can read. And even better, you can read through it and you can take quotes from it. So again, that is leveraging AI to help you be more efficient and to help you achieve better goals. So that's what I mean by cleaning up stories. I don't go in there and make up stories, but it helps us clean up stories, because sometimes the interviews end up being 2 hours long, and turns out we only have 300 words to write this essay or to write this report, or we need to turn a 20-minute recording into a 2-minute video. So Descript also allows us to edit video as if it was a text file. So that is really crazy. You can edit. I know now Adobe does something like that. So yeah, this was, and we're talking Descript this was winter of 22. So yeah, this is the part of this presentation. Again, the hammer did not take away the job from the builder. It just helped them be more efficient. AI will not take your job. It will help you be more efficient, but you need to learn how to leverage and use AI. Because those that do not use AI will be most likely left without a job. Just like those that do not know how to use a computer today or navigate the internet properly, it's a little harder to get a more professional level job if you don't have computer skills. It's the same with AI, having those basic AI skills. And the role of AI is, it starts with the education sector. Because any of you can go out there and play with it, but how do we do that in the classroom? What does it look like in the classroom? And that's what I'm going to talk about next. So I have 15 minutes. Jump into this other one. Okay. Skip this part. All the images on this presentation are AI generated. I've been really into like 16th century art. So I said, why not create 16th century Renaissance style art images for my presentation? And this guy right here, any of you know the Greek mythology story of Prometheus? Prometheus, Titan that stole fire from the gods to give it to the humans. One of the reasons he stole it, he said, that they need something. They need some sort of something to thrive. According to the myth, he saw that humans were pretty weak compared to all other beasts. So he needed to give them something to thrive. He gave up fire. He stole fire from the gods and gave it to the humans. Dude ended up being punished for that. Prometheus gave fire to humans, enabling them to survive and thrive. Just like fire, AI is a tool that can reshape our world, but how we use it determines our future. Just like fire has brought us very far. I'm not saying Prometheus actually brought us fire, but fire has brought us very far. But just like fire has helped us a lot, it has also enabled and unlocked a lot of evil in the world. Because of fire, I'm sure you can think of a lot of good things about fire, but there's a lot of bad things that fire has brought into the world. The positive impacts of AI, especially here for this audience: personalized education. AI can tailor lessons to individual needs, providing one-on-one learning experiences. We talked about this morning with faculty. Somebody raised the question. I have people, one of the questions was, I myself am a divergent learner. My brain works in all kinds of funny ways. And AI has helped me understand a lot of things. Sometimes I'll be reading literature. English is not my first language. So reading English literature can be quite complex for myself. So I've used AI to help me comprehend some of this knowledge, some of this text, and some of this stuff. So it can personalize the education a little bit more when we're struggling in sectors like that. It enhances creativity. AI generates new ideas and solves complex problems, surpassing human strategy sometimes. Again, but by us driving the boat and telling AI what we need, it can help us generate more ideas. There's been times when I've used AI to say, hey, I have all these ideas. Can you tell me what is the common theme between these 10 things that I'm thinking about? Or I have this one idea. Can you give me 10 recommendations of things that I could do with that idea? So again, going both ways as a student, you can really leverage that. Workplace efficiency. AI automates a repetitive task, allowing humans to focus on higher level work. Just like Microsoft Excel came to change the whole accounting world, AI can help us with a lot of those things and automate. There's a lot of things that could easily be automated and that are starting to be automated. One of the benefits of technology was and has been created to help humans be more efficient. That is one of the roles of AI, to help us be more efficient. And in the workplace, like I said, I'm always looking for how can I be more efficient? How can I take shortcuts, quote unquote, shortcuts? But it's more, how can I be more efficient and get better results at what I do? Hence, generating videos, images, and that kind of stuff. Without AI, I would not be able to accomplish those tasks, and I would not be able to be more efficient at my job. Takeaway quote: AI will be a vital tool in nearly every profession, enhancing work, not replacing the workers, but that is as long as you keep up with what is happening with the AI technology. In a world where knowledge changes rapidly, AI will help you stay ahead of the curve. Again, use it, and I was talking with faculty about this. How can we use it as an assistant? How can we walk side by side with AI so we don't stay behind in anything? It can help us do research. It can help us keep up with what is happening in certain areas of education, entertainment, and it will affect a lot of these areas, but it will also help us stay relevant and be more efficient. So now we're going to go into the ethical considerations and the risk of AI, because it's not all glitter and shiny things. There is the dark side of AI. And I think this is something that not a lot of people are talking about. And I will share some of these things with you that I've shared with your professors as well. Number one, over-reliance on AI. Over-reliance on AI leads to weaker critical thinking skills. Just like it can help you be a better critical thinker, if you start relying too much on AI, it can take away a little bit of that creativity. So finding the balance, how much AI is too much AI? Because yes, it can help you be a better critical thinker because now you're asking better, more complex questions to these models. But then you start relying too much on it, on doing certain tasks for you. AI and misinformation, something that you need, especially as students, if you're using stuff like ChatGPT. AI can produce convincing answers, but they're not always correct. Be careful what you trust. Do your research while doing research with AI. So always fact checking. AI will do 80% of the work. It is up to you to do the other 20%. Are those dates correct? Are the sources correct? How do I get sources from AI? Does anybody know?
Wait, no. In words, yeah.
Yes, on the new models, you can do that. Another way, an easier way to also get to source, when you get the response from ChatGPT, you say, now can you tell me where you got this information from? And it will give you the links to the articles, to the research where it pulled information from. Most of the time I say, help me find research on this and make sure you give me the source where you pulled information from. And that way I can double check and fact check all my information, because we are living in an era of mass information and there is so much fake junk information out there. There's biases. AI is only as unbiased as the data it's trained on. Human biases can infiltrate the system. So always keeping that in mind. I remember when we started using AI at the conference for samples, ChatGPT, turns out that there is more negative information about Seventh-day Adventists than positive. You know, the Debbie Downers were doing all the work. So when we asked AI to give us information on Seventh-day Adventists, guess what it pulled up? All the negative information, because the negative information and fake information about Adventists outweighed the positive. So the AI said, well, there's more negative information, so that must be the right information. So then it gave us that. So that is something to be very careful about when you're searching and when you're prompting, because it will only go towards where the main data is. So I made that when I presented at Andrews. I told them we need to write more positive information and proper educational information on the internet, because AI is scraping the internet for this information. How AI is changing education. I'll speed up. We're running out of time. AI is a supplement. As a supplement, can enhance learning, but it must be balanced with human interaction. While AI helps you learn, the most important human skills are still taught in person. I know there's a school that is currently developing their education teaching model, and this is a middle school. They're allowing students to start interacting with AI. So it's AI guided teaching, but the discussions are in group. So a student can take, their computer and interact with the AI and go sit in the yard under a tree. And hey, can you help me understand this problem? So they're already working on the critical thinking skills of these children, because they're interacting, they're asking questions, they're trying to get to the final results. But then they come together as a group and they discuss, okay, students, what did you learn about this topic? And this is middle school. This is a middle school that is starting to develop. Again, AI can supplement our learning, but the most important part will always be staying connected with other humans, because our number one human skills are taught relating with other humans, staying connected to other humans, preparing for the future of AI in your career. Anybody here thinks that AI is not going to touch the professional sector? I think it's going to touch, like we said, every sector. Something for you to keep in mind is becoming AI literate, which means, being aware of what's happening, starting to use some of these models and using them ethically, learn how AI works and understand its capabilities and limitations. How much AI is too much AI, or what are the limitations of ChatGPT at the moment? For example, here's a big one. How many of you are on ChatGPT free, like the free ChatGPT? Okay, you're on the free ChatGPT. Congratulations, you're using an outdated model. And the information on ChatGPT free is only up to the year 2015, if I am not mistaken. So Who is on a paid ChatGPT model? One person in that faculty, and I'm proud of you for, yeah. ChatGPT, the paid model, has just been updated as of last week. It is now been trained on more academic stuff on science and math. So now you can, so one of the things to keep in mind in this AI literate aspect is if you're using ChatGPT free, know that it is an older model trained on older data. So if you ask it, can you give me demographics for Huntsville, Alabama, it will pull up outdated information. It will not pull up 2024 information. Now, how do we get around that? Someone give me a prompt to get around that on the free model. Yeah.
You go to like observation, get that information and then feed it to ChatGPT. Then it can then curate, like, update it.
Yeah. Perfect. I'll give you a shortcut to that. Tell ChatGPT, I need you to look up the latest information regarding demographics of Huntsville, Alabama, and then I need you to give me the bullet points of the demographics. Now ChatGPT will go search the information because it's no longer relying on its knowledge. And now, yes, because if you ask questions, what are the demographics of Huntsville, Alabama? You're asking it information based on its knowledge. And ChatGPT free is outdated knowledge. It's knowledge up to, like I said, I think 2015. But if you ask it, hey, can you go do research on the most up-to-date information and then come back to me? Now it's going to give you, so again, those are the types of things that I mean. Like I said, your students, you're most likely using free ChatGPT. So knowing how to properly execute with that tool, unless you're paying a newer, we'll get to questions here in a bit. Hold on to it. And number 2, use AI ethically in the workplace or in school. AI can help you, but you are responsible for the decisions it helps you make, just like everything else. And I think that is a big topic that we need to talk about, the ethics of it. How much AI is too much AI? Where do we draw the line? And I know that's a conversation we've been having throughout the day with faculty and administration of, we need to teach you how to use it, but we also need to, okay, where do we draw the line and how much is too much? But it's also important for professors and faculty to know where to draw the line. And that's a whole presentation on its own, on the ethics of AI. AI will shape your future. Be the one who guides it responsibly. And I think this is I wish I could shout this to the world, because we are moving very rapidly to the future of AI. And I was mentioning this earlier. The US is the leading country in AI development, but that's a double-edged sword. Yes, we're leading versus all other countries, but we're also racing towards something that we don't know yet. Whereas other countries are taking a step and then analyzing that step and seeing, hey, maybe we should go this route because it's safer, and then they take another step. The US is sprinting towards the finish line because they want to have the best models, the fastest models, the models that become the standard. So it is up to us, the users, to be responsible with this technology. Just because it's the number one leading technology in the world doesn't mean it is the most ethical or the best technology in the world. Guess what? It's almost Q&A time. I did it. I was afraid I was not going to make it in time. Before we jump into Q&A, something else I wanted to... Actually, you know what? I think we can jump to Q&A, because I already see a couple of you, like, you're wanting to ask the questions, and if we can get an extra 2 minutes of Q&A, I know we're going to take advantage of that. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation. I went through a lot of material, went through a lot of samples, and I hope it raised, I know you have a lot of questions. And a lot of the questions, think of questions that are not just yes or no. And that is part of AI. We're going to go into an era where you need to learn how to ask better questions. Because as you're working with AI, you're working with a very advanced knowledge model. The smarter you speak to it, the better your questions are composed, the better it can help you. So don't just simply go in and say, can you write me a 300-word essay on the benefits of ketchup? But hey, what are the benefits of tomatoes in regards to mental health? So start learning, and we're going to practice with the questions today on Q&A, because especially on the topic of AI, it goes beyond just yes or no questions. Because if you ask me yes or no questions, most likely I will say yes, but I don't want to just say yes. I want to have a conversation that really gets the wheels spinning. So we're going to move to Q&A.